blue collar. Chiron Moore wore his blue collar outfit, his jacket with the Sherrone Moore name tag, like he's going down to work at the auto plant, like he's a union worker, to show the Michigan fans, hey, we're getting back to work. We're putting in the work this week after the loss to USC. And I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if I've ever seen someone this quickly. Now, this is on Monday. The memes starting Tuesday have continued. People just using AI to absolutely roast Chiron Moore has been frankly hilarious. I mean, if you don't find humor in it, you really need to check your pulse. I don't care how diehard of a Michigan football fan you are. So stay tuned to the end of today's show. We're going to roll through all the memes that Chiron Moore has just been. He's just been getting memed to death. Not really to death, but, it's just a meme-a-palooza. We'll show you those at the end of today's show. Also, Bryce Underwood jersey giveaway. I've got my Bryce Underwood jersey. I want to give one to one of you. So, in a few moments, about 2 minutes from now, maybe less, I will tell you, maybe more. You never know, Jack. You never know how long I'm going to talk. We will tell you how we are going to give away a Bryce Underwood jersey in any size you want on tomorrow's show, but you got to participate on today's show. So listen up here in a second. We are the only show that I know of, at least, on YouTube, on podcasts, on TV, and radio, giving away Bryce Underwood jerseys. No purchase necessary. So go ahead and subscribe to the Michigan Football Report if you enjoy today's show. Let's get it going right now. Sherrone said the message is pretty simple. We got to get back to work. That's why I'll have the blue collar jacket on. And frankly, Jack, some people got offended, like people do on Twitter. Some people say, well, hey, you're appropriating my culture. I saw a guy say, hey, my dad was in the union for 45 years, retired from GM in Michigan. My culture is not your costume. My dad's work is not your costume, Sherrone. But I don't listen to those people. I don't listen to that crazy social media polarization. I'm sure they're an Ohio State fan, and I doubt their dad ever even worked for GM or for Ford or wherever he claimed that they did. But blue collar, Sherrone, blue collar, right? I feel in life, Jack, you've got to be original. You've got to be true to yourself. And some people kind of at the top level are just saying, be yourself, Sherrone. This isn't original at all because your old boss, now the coach of the LA Chargers, Jim Harbaugh, he did the same thing a few years ago, right? He did the exact same thing where a blue-collar group gave all the players just that same jacket. I'm guessing that's Sherrone's that Harbaugh gave him 4 or 5 years ago, right? It's a blue-collar team. We put in work. We work hard. Now, others will say, hey, he learned from Harbaugh. Why not continue on with Harbaugh? And I may respond to that. If Michigan had won against USC and he put that coat on, hey, home game, I'm sure it'd been, hey, he's learned from Harbaugh. But it kind of feels, coming off a loss where they played that poorly, kind of feels like a try-hard move. So we'll talk about the epic trolling from Buckeye Bat on Twitter. I think it's going to be a funny just little walkthrough. And I'm not meaning to take any shots at Sherrone. Clearly all the photos we'll show you are AI-generated, but the humor involved is up there with some of the best trolling I've ever seen online. All right, Bryce Underwood jersey giveaway. Let me hold it up really quick. Bryce Underwood jersey, the official thing, that is mine. Now, the reason we're doing it today is because we've been doing so good. You guys have been doing so great with buying merch that we've talked about on the show. I'll show this one in a second. All the merch we've been showing on the show lately, the sales have been through the roof. And so our merch partner sent us a bunch of stuff. They said, do what you want with them. Wear them, give them away. So I've got Bryce Underwood jerseys galore. I've got one in every size, so you can get any size you want. Look at this stack of jerseys they gave me, right? Bryce Underwood jerseys galore. We are going to give one away today. I'll give one away next week. You can pick the size, so it's not like you're going to like a Pistons game and they've got t-shirt night and you get a triple extra large. You're never going to wear it. I've got every size for you. So tomorrow on Thursday, we're going to do a duck race. Everyone who comments 10 plus times, it could be 1 comment, 2 comment, it could be Bosa comment, but 10 individual comments or more. If you do 20, we'll give you two entries if you do 20, okay? But we're not going above 20. 2 entries a person if you do 20 comments. Anyone who comments 10 times in today's show, it might not be that many people. It might be 6, 7, 8, 10 people. Who knows? We're going to put you in a duck race, totally random. Play that on Thursday's show. Whoever wins the randomly generated duck race for 60 seconds race, kind of like a horse race, I will get your info, mail you the Bryce Underwood jersey of your choice. So comment 10 plus times, up to 20 for 2 entries, and watch Thursday's show. Justice Haynes is the thing I'm worried about most in this Michigan football program. And that's why I made it my top story after we got through some of the house cleaning there at the top of the shows. Rumors from inside the program. I always try and keep 3 separate sources, Jack. Here's my sources. I try to keep I don't like to talk to the players necessarily because sometimes that's crossing the line, whatever. Parent of a player on offense, parent of a player on defense, ex-player or ex-player's parents who still connected to the program. And from what I've heard back from 2 of the 3 groups so far, Justice Haynes has not been practicing this week. I know it's Wednesday, still 3 days left of the game. And players quietly, they're not necessarily saying to the coaching staff isn't necessarily saying to them, but quietly don't expect him against Washington on Saturday. Now, Chip Lindsey was asked about it yesterday when he had media availability. He said, we're hopeful. I don't know. It's wait and see thing. I don't really know yet, to be honest with you, on the availability of Justice Haynes. Now, he was out there in the second half against USC on Saturday, and I actually thought the way they were having him out there that he'd come in eventually, but never did. This has been an epic run for him, and I think obviously had he not been hurt in the second quarter, he was on pace for another 100-yard game. That would have been 6 straight to start the year. As it stands, through 6 games, averaging about 115 yards. I think it's actually 115 yards exactly, right? 705 divided by 6, 115, and over 1 touchdown through his half season. And look, I'm just going to put it out there. I have no true inside info outside of he hasn't practiced Monday or Tuesday. I'm not even sure if they normally practice Monday or not, but definitely didn't practice yesterday. And haven't heard for sure here on Wednesday. We'll try and give you an update on Thursday or Friday if we hear anything else. But if he doesn't play, this is a huge blow. You saw what Michigan became in the second half against Washington. I mean, they became nothing, right? They scored 13 points, scored 1 touchdown on, honestly, a kind of a lucky Bryce Underwood quick throw over the corner behind the safety. And it's a great move by Andrew Marsh to take it 60-plus yards to the end zone. That's not going to happen every time. And he is the guy that keeps this offense moving. He is the guy that's able to break out of that, scrum of guys at the line of scrimmage, go 75 yards, go 56 yards, go 41 yards, and score 8 touchdowns. He didn't just do it against the scrub teams, right? He has done it against Oklahoma. He has 75-yard touchdown. He has done it against Nebraska. He didn't get a chance as much to do it against USC. Did it against Wisconsin. And his backup is, of course, Jordan Marshall, the guy that most people, if not many people, thought would, if not be the starting running back this year, at least be a true 1A, 1B. But it's definitely been a 1 and a 2. It's been an A and a B. It's not been like a 1A, 1B. It's like been an A and a B with Marshall and with Haynes. He's got 301 yards in the season, which is pretty good. Right? It's been pretty good. You can say he kind of had a half a game start on Saturday, second half against USC. But if you extrapolate that out to a full season, let's say Michigan went to a bowl game, went to the College Football Playoff, won a game, 13, 14 games, he'd be up there with about 700 or 800 yards. Get a start against Saturday against Washington. He could be up there with like Donovan Edwards, who needed 3 or 4 starts at the end of the year in 2022 to have 950, 980 yards, whatever it was. So Jordan Marshall is not disappointing by any means, but clearly he is not as good of a player at breaking tackles or just being an explosive home run threat. Will he step up, I think, is the biggest question if Justice Haynes is not in the lineup on Saturday. That is my question for you guys on the wonderful Michigan Football Report with the best audience in all of YouTube, frankly, the best audience anywhere on the internet of any show that covers Michigan football. Will Justice Haynes play versus Washington? Give me a yes or a no with a Y. All it needs 1 letter. Y for yes, N for no. But I want to caveat it with this. 2 carries is a no. 3 carries is a no. I mean play. He is the starter or he is getting 3, 4, 5 carries in the second quarter, right? He is going to halftime with 6 or 7 carries at the minimum, even if Jordan Marshall starts. 2 carries and in there for a blocking or something like that. 4 snaps does not count. I'm talking about 15, 20 plus snaps is a yes. Anything less than that, I think it's just for show, and that would be a no. Next up, we have got the epic trolling of Buckeye Bats, and I hate to give credit to Ohio State fans, but this was just too good not to share with you guys. But I have a bigger update before we get to that help. Before we talk about Chiron Moore's job security, and it is this, right? I told you guys I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I went out and bought it, right? I got this bad boy. It looks a little different in person, Jack. The lighting, it looks more mazy on the photos than it does in real life, I guess. Maybe that's our cameras. But I've got this bad boy. It looks exactly like Dusty May. I'm going to go as Dusty May for Halloween because Michigan's basketball coach, because I look just like him with my totally natural, not surgically enhanced hair, and my Mays coach's Q-zip. Also, the Michigan basketball long sleeve, both Jordan brand, on sale. The Q-zip, Mays Q-zip, only $52.19, normally $90, and this bad boy, which I also bought, which will probably be here on Friday, so I'll wear it on the show next week, Only, what's the price of that Jack one? Yeah, $17. Only $17. I was going to say like $29. $17, almost 65% off, right? It's like 60% off. Chatsports.com/MishBball. Both of those links are down in the comments, second paragraph of the description. Go down and click on them. When you do click on them, after you put those in your shopping cart, also buy this one. I bought this shirt as well. We talked about it. We haven't put it on the show, but it's on sale. Go look for it, right? All you got to do is once you put this one in your shopping cart, click on the sale tab under the Michigan football store or Michigan Wolverine store. This one, normally $45, it's only $29. I really like it. It is a cool Jordan brand, a really comfortable long sleeve shirt. All right, take a look at this. Take a look at these stats because people have been giving me all kinds of crap on the internet. 25.5 points in Chiron Moore's 4 games versus, step to the side, 46 without him. Oh, right. So we showed you this on yesterday's show, right? We showed you this, Monday's show, right? Monday's show. And we put it out there. I just screenshot it. We put it around our socials on yesterday. And let's just keep a look at it because people are getting really up in arms. Central Michigan, that doesn't count. Oh, man, James, Nebraska, they stink. Nebraska doesn't stink. Nebraska's a good team. Nebraska's going to win 8 or 9 games this year. And people are trying to act like the entire universe was coming at Sherrone Moore in his games. He was playing like the murderer's row. Look, what I said in the comments, I want to make sure that I'm clear. I'm not saying that this is what you would expect if Biff Poggi was the head coach, or this is what you get every game if Sherrone, continues to obviously be the head coach for Michigan. What I was saying with these stats, toss them up down there one more time, Jack, is that you've got 6 games so far, 2 without Sherrone, 4 with, and I think the level of opponent was a little bit better for the away games, Oklahoma and USC, but nevertheless, each of these guys, Biff and Sherrone, had half of their games, away games against traditional powers, right? Traditional powers that could have beat Michigan, right? Biff's was at Nebraska. Sherrone's were at Oklahoma, at USC. A little harder. I get it. A little harder. And then one cupcake game, right? I'm sorry, half the games are cupcake games. Sherrone had New Mexico, and frankly, he had Wisconsin. They lost 37-0 to Iowa. They scored 37 points. Iowa never scores more than 20 points ever in a game. And, of course, Biff had his tough road game with Nebraska and Central Michigan. I don't think they're the exact same, but they're not crazy far off. Like people are saying, like, this is so slanted because of competition. It's not that far off. So, nevertheless, I just want to show that one more time, and I'm not saying that those would be the thing every time, but it is not some crazy analysis that people are just kind of, most people, I'd say 80% of people say, yeah, not acceptable. There's this 20% crew that just think this is the most egregious comparison of all time. One guy, Jack, I don't know if you saw this reply to my tweets. If you're in my tweet replies, it's just a wild time sometimes. Guy goes, what the F is this? Do some research. I respond to him, this is research, buddy. That is research. I didn't find it anywhere. I went and I did all the math. I put the numbers in the graphic. That was research. Stats are research, and that is what it is. Let's talk about some blue collar Sherrone. Going back to this message. The message is pretty simple. We've got to go back to work. That's why I have the blue collar jacket on. Before we go to this one, Jack, just want to make sure everyone says I am not my goal here is not to make fun of Chiron Moore, but I feel obligated to talk about this thread because I seriously laughed my ass off, when I saw his. Let's see the first one, and this is in Don Thomas, kind of a Twitter clown out there. Keep calm and let Sherrone cook. And with each one of these photos from @BuckeyeBat on Twitter, that thread, by the way, is down. It's like the 3rd or 4th paragraph in the description in the comments. If you want to go check it out from Tuesday, you can check out this entire thread. All right, let's start with it. Chiron Moore as the chef. That's why I'm wearing chef whites to remind the team to just keep calm and let me cook. It continued. Sherrone the fireman. And to remind the team, we face fire, we don't run away from it. Just hilarious. How about this one? We're wearing this construction uniform, right? This construction outfit because we got to build this thing brick by brick, right? Making fun of him as the blue collar. We're getting back to work because we're blue collar guys. It continues from there. How about this one? Chiron Moore, the pilot. We can take this team to new heights. Just absolutely hilarious. And these AI, these are good, right? These are really good. Whatever service they're using, whether it's ChatGPT or Grok, I love this one. Remember, this is an Ohio State fan wearing a Buckeyes shirt and an Ohio State hat. And this is some self-deprecation from Ohio State fans. And to show my team, we can still win a national championship after 2 losses, right? 2024 Ohio State, 2 losses. Ohio State to Michigan and Oregon, just like Michigan does at 4-2. Pretty hilarious. Like liked this one as well because we've got a mess to clean up. Sherrone Moore, the janitor. Now, some people got with it in the comments. This one is from Ohio. What does that say? Ohio born 85. As the head coach, it is my job to steer the ship. This is Captain Chiron Moore going across the Atlantic Ocean looking for the new world. How about this next one coming up from Gabe Hoyer? Wearing a suit, right? Fully suit, right? Why is he wearing a suit? Because we got to get back to business here at Michigan football. Just hilarious. At Buckeye Bat on Twitter. The link to that whole thread is down in the comments, down in the description. I thought it was funny. If I could troll like that for going against Ohio State, I absolutely would. Shout out to him for some humor, inner fan base humor. Frankly, I think Chiron Moore kind of deserves a little bit because it's fairly inauthentic that he's stealing Jim Harbaugh's shtick. Is this a make or break for your Wolverines head coach? Washington, the only team in the SEC or Big Ten right now with one loss who is not ranked. So this is a battle of the unranked teams. This is a battle of the national championship game from 2 years. Michigan started when the point spread came out. It was originally Michigan was favored by 10.5 points, and this line may have came out before the loss to USC because I didn't actually see it that high after the USC game. But if you look at like Vegas odds or Action Network, etc., opening line 10.5, it's down to 5.5. So clearly Michigan, is not in the good graces. That kind of makes me think, Jack, coming off that game, and how good Washington's looked, how good their quarterback has looked. They put up 1 trillion yards. Who was it against Rutgers on Friday night? I watched some of them. They've got a good quarterback, and if you stop him, you kind of stop their entire offense. But I would have thought, based on sentiment, Michigan down, Washington up, that this would have been like a 2-point spread or 1.5-point spread. The fact that it says 5, I'm a contrarian thinker, says to me that maybe they want you to bet Washington. Oh, Washington's going to win this game. They want you to bet Washington. Heavy, 80%, 90% I've seen of the bets around Washington so far. Well, what's going to happen if Washington wins? The sportsbooks are going to lose their butt, right? I think they know Michigan's going to win this one by 7 or more. They put that out there. People are like, I'm going to bet Washington. I'm going to bet Washington. If it was 2 points, 1 point, the ad might be 50-50. Every once in a while, these sportsbooks got to have one out there that gets all the suckers. So don't go out there and bet Washington. I think Michigan, maybe, right? This team started 4-3 last year. If Sherrone Moore loses this game to Jedd Fisch, another Jim Harbaugh disciple, a guy who came in and I thought took a down and out offense with a transfer quarterback in Jake Rudock, and then a guy who couldn't really cut it after one season in Wilton Spate in 2015 and 2016, and gave Michigan a legitimate, decent enough passing game, certainly better than anything we've seen since, other than the J.J. McCarthy years. I think Jedd Fisch is the top candidate for this Michigan job if it doesn't work out with Sherrone Moore. So he could be auditioning for his next job while Chiron Moore is potentially losing his job. I don't think it's going to happen after this game by any means, but this is one of these games, much like last year against Illinois. Michigan came off that road loss to Washington, went on the road the next week against Illinois, and that was practically one of the worst games I think I can remember going back to the COVID year, maybe that TCU game notwithstanding, for this Michigan football team. The first half, I went back to my tweets. I tweeted something like after the first half of Illinois Game 7 last year that was the worst first half of football I've ever seen Michigan play. Maybe hyperbole, but if you are the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines coming off a national championship, coming off 40-3 3 years prior, and you start back-to-back seasons in this 12-team playoff era with one of the biggest NIL budgets, 4-3 back-to-back years, it is going to get so toxic and so insane. Michigan football fans are going to lose their mind. I think so much is riding on Chiron Moore winning this game against Washington. They are 5.5-point spreads. That game, big noon on Saturday. We will have a video for you on Thursday, Friday, and I'll have my post-game Michigan football report on Saturday after the game. Make sure you comment 10 times and tune into Thursday's show. Maybe comment 20 times, 2 entries. We'll do a duck race and give away a Bryce Underwood jersey of your choice. Go Blue.